Golden Bank wants to expand its business by offering special low-rate mortgage renewals for online applications. Online applications expand the bank's customer reach and reduce the bank's application processing costs. The team will use IBM Watson Pipelines to run a data pipeline that delivers up-to-date data on all mortgage applicants, along with a mortgage approval model that is deployed and tested. To begin, sign up for the data integration use case in the Data Fabric trial at ibm.biz/datafabrictrial. First, verify that your region is set to Dallas or Frankfurt. Then make sure you have all of the required services provisioned. From the Cloud Pak for Data home screen, navigate to your service instances. For this video tutorial, you will need Watson Studio, Watson Machine Learning, DataStage, and Cloud Object Storage. If you are missing any of these services, you can add a service right from here. Just select the service, select the Light plan, and create the service. This video tutorial uses a sample project. From the home page, you can take a tutorial. This brings you to the documentation where you can decide which tutorial to take. In this case, you want to start with the Orchestrate and AI pipeline with data integration tutorial. This project contains several assets, including a pipeline, data stage flows, and a connection to an external data source. When you select to create this project, the name, description, and cloud object storage should be filled in for you. So just create the project. When the project import completes, view the new project. Click the Assets tab to see all of the included assets. You will use Watson Machine Learning to create and deploy the model, so you need to associate the service with this sample project. On the Manage tab, navigate to the Services and Integrations page. From here, you can associate your Watson Machine Learning service. This sample project includes several assets, including a connection, data definition, 2 data stage flows, and a pipeline. All of the data assets used in the data stage flow and the pipeline are stored in the Data Fabric trial DB2 Warehouse connection in the AI mortgage schema. The Integrate Mortgage Data data stage flow integrates data about each mortgage applicant, including personally identifiable information with their application details, credit scores, status as a commercial buyer, and finally the prices of each applicant's desired home, and then creates a sequential file with the name mortgagedata.csv in the project containing the joined data. The Integrate Mortgage Approvals data stage flow uses the output from the first data stage flow and further enriches the data by integrating information about each mortgage application approval. The resulting dataset is saved to the project with the name mortgagedata-with-approvals.csv. The asset with the name definition mortgage data is a data definition for the mortgagedata-with-approvals.csv file that's created by the Integrate Mortgage Approvals data stage flow. In the sample project, open the Watson pipeline, which automates several tasks. In the top section of the pipeline, 2 data stage jobs run in sequence to combine various tables from the DB2 Warehouse on Cloud connection into a cohesive labeled dataset that is used as the training data for the AutoAI experiment. The Check Status node checks for a condition. This condition is a decision point in the pipeline to confirm the completion of the first data stage job with a value of either completed or completed with warnings. The Create AutoAI Experiment node creates an AutoAI experiment with the specified experiment name and with the specified settings, such as the scope, prediction type, and prediction column. The Run AutoAI Experiment node runs the AutoAI experiment that was created from the Create AutoAI Experiment node, using the output from the Integrate Mortgage Approval DataStage flow as the training data. Next, view the condition with the name "Do you want to deploy the model?" The value of true for this condition is a decision point in the pipeline to continue to create the deployment space. The Create Deployment Space node creates a new deployment space with the specified name and requires input for your Cloud Object Storage and Watson Machine Learning services. For the COS instance CRN, select your Cloud Object Storage instance from the list. And for the new WML instance CRN, select your Watson Machine Learning instance from the list. Save those settings before moving on. The Promote Model to Deployment Space node promotes the best model from the Run AutoAI Experiment node to the deployment space created from the Create Deployment Space node. The pipeline creates the model, creates a deployment space, and then promotes the model to the deployment space. You need to add a node to create an online deployment. To add the Create Online Deployment node, expand the Create section in the node palette. Drag the Create Web Service node onto the canvas and drop the node below the Promote Model to Deployment Space node. Connect the Promote Model to Deployment Space node to the Create Web Service node. Then connect the comment to the Create Web Service node. Now edit the Create Web Service node and change the node name to Create Online Deployment. Then for the ML asset, choose Select from Another Node from the menu. Select the Promote Model to Deployment Space node from the list. The node ID winning model is selected. For the new deployment name, type Mortgage Approval Model Deployment. For the creation mode, select Overwrite. Save these changes to the node before moving on. Now that you have completed the pipeline, you are ready to run the pipeline. In this case, you want to do a trial run. Now define the pipeline parameters. If the deployment is set to true, then the pipeline will verify the deployed model and score the model. If set to false, then the pipeline will verify that the model was created in the project by the AutoAI experiment and review the model information and training metrics. If this is your first time running a pipeline, you are prompted to provide an API key. Pipeline assets use your personal IBM Cloud API key to execute operations securely without disruption. If you don't have an existing API key, you can create one right from here. If you have an existing API key, then you can use that API key. When you're ready, run the pipeline. The trial run could take up to 10 minutes to complete. The consolidated logs show the status of each node as it runs. When the run completes, you can select a node to view the details of the operation on the Node Inspector tab. The log panel shows the details for executing that operation, and the Input-Output tab provides more information about the assets associated with that operation. Take some time to review the logs and input and output for each of the nodes. The Node Output tab provides a summary of the output for each node operation. The pipeline created several assets. return to the project's Assets tab. The first DataStage flow created the mortgage data CSV file. The second DataStage flow joined the mortgage data CSV file with two other assets to create the mortgage data with approvals CSV file. Now view the model. The AutoAI experiment generated several model candidates and chose this as the best model. The model information includes training metrics and the input schema. On the Jobs tab, you can see that the pipeline created 2 DataStage jobs and 1 pipeline job. Now navigate to your deployment spaces and view the mortgage approval deployment space. On the Assets tab, you'll see the mortgage approval best model. And on the Deployments tab, you'll see the online deployment. When you view the deployment, you'll see that the API Reference tab includes the deployment endpoint and code snippets to use this model deployment in your application. On the Test tab, you can test the model with new data. In this case, paste the JSON text containing the test data for 2 applicants and click Predict. The model predicts with high confidence that the first applicant will not be approved for a mortgage and the second applicant will be approved for a mortgage. Find more Data Fabric videos and tutorials in the Cloud Pak for Data as a Service documentation.